Hi, I'm Patria-Kaye, Senior Brand Manager at Massey Distribution, and I'm a leader who bleeds. So I perhaps was one of the lucky ones because my mother was very open in conversation about me and how my body would change. And I'll never forget, I got a book called The Complete Tween. And I got that book long before my period started, perhaps when I was in grade 4. And it was a book all about your body and how it was going to change for both boys and girls. So the exercise with my mother and I was, I would read the book, and if I had questions, she and I had this open conversation where we could talk about it. So when my period actually started, it wasn't a surprise to me. I knew what was coming and I felt very prepared. Something really special that we shared as well on the first day of my period that I've carried forward with my goddaughters is the day that my period started, we had a whole celebration. It was a little mini celebration of my beginning to turn a woman. So we had popcorn and we watched movies. And as opposed to it being, a day of fear or in some instances for some other people shame, it really was a day of celebration for us. So I say two things. As much as we were open in my household about, the fact that my period was coming, I didn't realize that my mother saw her period for a very long time, because there's a coupling of period and privacy that obtains in many households. And so the exposure that I would have gotten from the book, and still not knowing that my mother saw her period, because I never ever saw evidence of a pad, used or unused anywhere. She never ever publicly complained of feeling cramps or any of the things sometimes that are associated with periods. If I didn't know, I can imagine how much it's hidden from men in society. And I think it must be a huge shock for very many men to recognize that their partners see their periods and all the things that come with it, and they just don't know what to do. And so we develop this society of men who feel inept, who feel incapable of supporting women as they go through this, and they often make insensitive decisions because it's not a part of their consciousness. So, I have quite a few, but there's one that I'll share with you today. I remember as an adult having to go to an embassy to do my biometrics. And the rule at the embassy is that you cannot carry in any of your personal belongings. So my handbag had to be in my car. And I go through the line, I get to the location, I'm sitting down, and my period starts. And I can feel it in my stomach, and I can feel it in my body. And sure enough, I stand up, and it's this whole coy song and dance to get up to check whether or not what I suspect has actually happened. And sure enough, I had an accident. My period had come, I was unprepared. Not only did I mess up myself, but I also messed up the seat that I was sitting on, which is a whole load of embarrassment there. But add to that the fact that I'm now in a place where my clothes are soiled and I don't have anything with me to be able to address it, or even to say go put on a pad. And so I had to leave. I had to explain why I was leaving, go to my car, borrow a bathroom, sort myself out as best I could. Luckily, I had a sweater in the car. But you see me come back with a sweater tied around my waist. It was this telltale announcement that I had messed myself up. And it just really brought into focus for me the insensitivity of some of the rules that are put in place that don't take into consideration a very practical real scenario that can happen to a woman. But also it made me, for the first time, having to deal with that, recognize that there's some change that needs to happen in society, and some advocacy is really necessary for women to be able to go through this very natural thing without the shame, without the experience of feeling less than because of their periods. Periods are a part of life. Deal with it. And it comes with some complications sometimes. It comes with some adjustments that the woman has to make in her own life, but also that you need to make in your business. As a leader, I think we have to be sensitive. We have to be sensitive about the sensitivities of a period and make adjustments. Women make up half of the population in this country, and we deserve to have environments in which we can be our best selves and be productive without the shame, without the embarrassment of having to deal with situations that arise because of our periods, because the environments in which we operate haven't catered to a very natural thing. So I would say I've learned that when it comes to sanitary napkins, there is one out there for everybody. And sanitary napkins come in different shapes, they come in different sizes. There are alternatives to sanitary napkins like tampons, and everybody has a preference that makes them feel good and comfortable. I don't shame to talk. I like my mattress that stretch from here to there, and I feel nice and comfortable and safe, and I'm ready to work when I have that on. And I'm okay with that. I would encourage our women to get to know your body and get to know what makes you feel best and what makes you feel comfortable. Find that sanitary napkin that works for you and run with it. And I hope it's a stay free.